Welcome, everyone, to a truly exciting session. This is Vibe Coding, Chatbot with Cursor and Anvil. We're diving deep into Lesson 4 of our ICAP Capstone project. Today, it's all about software architecture to Vibe Coding. Marina, are you ready to unlock some incredible chatbot power?
Oh Sasha, I am beyond ready. The anticipation has been building for this one. Vibe coding just sounds so cool. I can't wait to see how Cursor and Anvil come together. Let's jump right in.
Fantastic. Let's hit our first slide. Today, we start with something truly foundational. We're going to create a chatbot user interface. And the magic tool here is Cursor AI. We'll ask it to help us build it. Then, we'll run it locally as a file. Look at the screenshot on the left. Cursor generated a simple HTML page. It simulates a chat interface. It looks so familiar, almost like WhatsApp. In the middle, you see the Cursor prompt. We asked for a standalone HTML, CSS, JavaScript app. Just a basic conversational chatbot. With that familiar UI. And on the bottom right, the file structure. Index, HTML, MyJS, JS, custom.css. Everything neatly organized.
Wow Sasha, that's incredible. Cursor just whips that up. It's like having a super fast front-end developer right there. And it looks so clean. That WhatsApp-like interface is perfect. It's immediately intuitive. Does it usually create such a complete set of files? Like HTML, CSS and JavaScript all separate? That's amazing for organization.
Absolutely, Marina. It's incredibly smart. It understands the best practices. Separating concerns like that is key for maintainability. It truly delivers a ready-to-go, standalone app. Just from a simple prompt. It saves so much time. It frees us up to focus on the more complex parts, like connecting it to the backend. Which brings us to our next slide. Let's dive into the system architecture. This is for our Anvil-based custom HTML and JavaScript UI. It connects to a large language model API. It's a beautiful flow. First, our browser, which can even run Python with PyScript. It interacts with an Anvil web server. The Anvil web server then talks to an application server. This application server could be running Python locally, or it could be deployed on Vercel. That application server then makes REST API calls to Google Gemini, our large language model. API requests and responses flow back and forth. The Anvi uplink library uses WebSockets for real-time communication. This diagram truly shows how everything works together. It's a robust and flexible system.
Wow Sasha, this diagram is a game changer. It really clarifies the whole flow. So the browser can run Python directly? That's the PyScript magic, right? That's so innovative. And the Anvil web server acts as a bridge between our UI and the actual logic. Then the application server, that's where all the heavy lifting happens, like calling Gemini and WebSockets for real time. That's key for a snappy chatbot experience. This architecture feels so modern and powerful.
Precisely, Marina. You've got it perfectly. Python running under JavaScript in the browser is phenomenal. It allows us to use Python for front-end logic too. Anvil is indeed that smart bridge. It seamlessly connects your client side with your server-side logic. And the application server is our brain. It holds the custom code. It manages our API keys securely. And it orchestrates the calls to Gemini. WebSockets are crucial. They provide that instant, fluid conversation. No lag, just pure interaction. It's truly beautiful how it all interlocks. Ready for the next piece of the puzzle?
Absolutely. My mind is buzzing.
Next up, we need to connect our chatbot to an Anvil server function. We'll use the same Anvil published URL that we set up for our Anvil application earlier when building the project dashboard. But we'll append chat to it. The screenshot shows another Cursor AI interaction. We're asking it to replace the API URL with one used in a Flask app, and to change the send button to an icon. Look at the highlighted lines. The LLM endpoint is updated from a placeholder to the actual Anvil URL. Specifically, shiny interesting Tanaga, anvil.appchat. This is so crucial. It allows our local chatbot UI to send messages to the Anvil server. It's the handshake between client and server.
Okay, so this is where the front end talks to the back end. And Cursor AI does the heavy lifting again. It actually modifies the JavaScript code for us to point to that specific Anvil URL. That's just amazing. No manual searching for variables. No risk of typos. It's like a code assistant on steroids. And the chat endpoint makes perfect sense. It's clean and descriptive. This integration feels so seamless.
It truly is, Marina. Cursor AI isn't just generating code. It's understanding context and performing intelligent refactoring. That's the real power. It saves countless hours of debugging and ensures consistency. Now, let's talk about those server functions. This time, we're writing them on our local machine. Instead of directly in the Anvil IDE, the code snippet shows Anvil Gemini Chat Server. We import Anvil, Server, and Google Generative AI. You can see how the Anvil uplink key is defined. Remember, we can get this key via the Anvil development website. This connects to our Anvil app. The Gemini API key is retrieved via Anvil Server call. This is to avoid keeping the key in your code. Instead, it's externalized to a file, albeit a py file. This is super important for security. It keeps your sensitive keys safe. Further down, there's the call Gemini function. This function handles the conversation. It interacts with the Gemini LLM, and it formats messages appropriately. Ready for the Gemini API. It's the core intelligence of our chatbot.
This is fascinating, Sasha. Writing the server code locally. That gives us so much flexibility. We can use our favorite IDE, all our familiar tools, and the Anvil uplink key. That's how our local code speaks to Anvil, right? It's like creating a secure tunnel and retrieving the Gemini API key via anvil.server.call. That's brilliant for security. No hard-coding sensitive info. The call Gemini function sounds like the real workhorse. It handles all the communication with the LLM. This setup feels incredibly professional.
You've hit every single nail on the head, Marina. The local development experience is paramount. And that secure tunnel, as you called it, that's the Anvil uplink. It's robust and reliable, keeping API keys out of your code and fetching them dynamically. It's a best practice. It protects your application. Now, let's see how we expose this and make it accessible. Continuing with our Anvil server functions, we can run this code locally using that very same Anvil uplink key. This slide shows the HTTP endpoint. For our chat function, we define at anvil.server.http.root chat enable cause equals true. This means our function will respond to HTTP post requests at the chat path. It receives input JSON, extracts the conversation history, calls our call Gemini function, and returns the LLM's reply. There's also error handling in place, which is absolutely vital. Finally, Anvil server wait forever. This keeps the Anvil uplink connection alive. It's a crucial command. It ensures continuous operation.
Okay, so this is where we actually define the API endpoint, the chat route. And we need enable cause to be true. That's super important for cross-origin requests, right? So our front end, wherever it's hosted, can talk to it. And it handles JSON input and output. That's exactly what an API should do. And error handling built in. That shows true professionalism. But anvil.server.wait forever? That sounds almost poetic. It just keeps the connection alive, ready for anything. This is so powerful.
Exactly, Marina. CORS is a common hurdle. So enable cause set to true handles that beautifully. It ensures smooth communication, regardless of where your front end lives. And wait forever is indeed magical. It turns your local script into a persistent server, always listening, always ready. Now, let's see this in action. This is our chatbot running locally, and it's using Anvil. What's truly interesting here is that it connects via Anvil, even though both the UI and the server are running on our local machine. On the left, the terminal output. It shows Anvil works uplink and Anvil WebSocket open, confirming that strong connection. On the right, you can see the chatbot UI running directly from a local HTML file. When prompted with, "Hi, who are you?" it responds with, "I am a large language model, trained by Google." This demonstrates a fully functional local setup. It's incredibly satisfying to see.
Oh, this is the moment of truth, Sasha. It's actually working. The local UI and the local server talking, but still using Anvil as the intermediary? That's really clever. It means we can develop locally, with all the benefits of Anvil's infrastructure. That terminal output is so reassuring, confirming the connection, and seeing the chatbot respond like that. It makes all the architectural diagrams and code snippets come to life. This is truly exciting.
Isn't it exhilarating, Marina? This local setup is super powerful. It's fast for development, and it proves the concept. It shows Anvil's incredible flexibility, acting as that central hub, even when everything is on your machine. But what if we want to host it all completely within Anvil? That's our next big step. To set up the Anvil-based chatbot UI within the Anvil environment itself. First, we create a custom HTML form, as shown in the image. When you go to create a new form, you select the Custom HTML option. This is brilliant. It allows us to directly embed our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code right into an Anvil page, giving us full control over the user interface. Complete design freedom.
Okay, so this is about porting our awesome cursor-generated UI into the Anvil platform for hosting a custom HTML form. That's such a powerful feature. It means we're not limited to Anvil's drag-and-drop components. We can bring our own highly customized designs and still leverage Anvil's backend capabilities. This is the best of both worlds.
Precisely, Marina. It opens up a world of possibilities. You get the speed of Anvil and the creative freedom of raw HTML, CSS, JS. Now, once you have your custom HTML form, the next crucial step is to upload your CSS and JavaScript files into Anvil's assets, as depicted in the slide. Anvil provides an Add Asset dialog, where you can choose to upload an HTML file, CSS stylesheet, or JavaScript file. You can simply drag and drop your custom.css and my.js, JSS files into this area, or use the Upload a File button. These assets will then be accessible by your custom HTML. It's super intuitive.
Oh, that's such a relief. I was wondering how Anvil would find those files. Having a dedicated asset manager that accepts drag and drop is so user-friendly. It keeps everything organized and ensures those files are served correctly. This feels incredibly streamlined.
It absolutely is streamlined, Marina. Anvil's design philosophy shines here, making complex tasks simple. Now, for the final piece of the puzzle. After uploading your assets, you need to copy the HTML code into the custom HTML form in Anvil. Then, you modify the paths of your CSS and JS files to point to the uploaded assets. And finally, set this form as the startup form for your Anvil app. The screenshot shows the HTML editor within Anvil, where we've pasted our chatbots, index, HTML, content. Notice the lines with the link tag. The file name has changed to correctly access the CSS file. And also the script tag has the correct reference for the JavaScript file since it's now uploaded to Anvil. These paths are adjusted to correctly reference the assets within Anvil's theme folder. And then, a simple right-click on the form in the designer. Select Set as Startup Form. Boom! Your custom UI is live.
So we're basically telling Anvil, hey, use this HTML as the main page. And here are the CSS and JS files it needs. It's incredibly logical. And setting it as the startup form. That's how our app knows where to begin. This whole process is surprisingly straightforward, considering the power we're wielding.
That's the magic, Marina. Anvil simplifies complexity. It turns what could be a headache into a seamless deployment. So, we've talked about running the server-side Anvil code locally on your machine. The screenshot on the left shows the chatbot running in a browser, which is now hosted by Anvil, demonstrating its full functionality. But there's more. On the right, an important note. You can deploy the server code on Vercel in a manner similar to how we deployed Flask to have a completely hosted chatbot. Remember to include the Anvil uplink and Google Generative AI libraries in your requirements.txt file for Vercel deployment. This gives you incredible flexibility to choose your hosting environment.
This is the ultimate flexibility, Sasha. Not only can Anvil host our UI, but our backend server code can live on Vercel. That's amazing for scalability and for integrating with existing CI/CD pipelines. The requirements.txt reminder is crucial. It's so easy to forget those dependencies. But Vercel makes deployment so simple. This is truly enterprise-grade development, made accessible.
Precisely, Marina. It offers the best of all worlds. Local development, annual hosting, and external server deployment. Now, let's summarize what we have achieved in this incredible lesson. Firstly, we created a standalone chatbot application in pure HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And notably, Cursor AI created this code entirely on its own. Secondly, we created an annual uplink server, which is accessed by the chatbot. And this server, in turn, calls the Gemini API. Thirdly, we created an annual user interface and successfully imported the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code into it. This resulted in a fully annual hosted chatbot. And finally, while our server code is currently running locally, it can easily be deployed on Vercel as well, providing immense flexibility for hosting. Isn't that just phenomenal, Marina?
Sasha, that's more than phenomenal. It's mind-blowing. From zero to a full-fledged flexible chatbot in just one lesson, and with so much help from AI tools. Cursor AI doing the UI magic. Anvil handling the connections and hosting. And Gemini providing the intelligence. This is truly vibe coding at its best. I feel so empowered to build anything now. Thank you, Sasha, for breaking it all down so clearly.
That's exactly the feeling we want to ignite, Marina. Empowerment, innovation, and pure excitement. This lesson lays such a strong foundation for your future projects. And speaking of future projects, next, we will look at how to mash up a hybrid architecture. Get ready for even more amazing insights.
Hybrid architecture. Oh, I can't wait. That sounds like the next level of complexity. But with your guidance, Sasha, I know it'll be thrilling. Bring on the mashup.